Why hello YouTube! Greetings from the LazyEyebrowReviewer to review for the Reprolabels set for Combiner Wars Bruticus. Bruticus came with 5 figures to collect, and for once, didn't try to invent a new character to excuse a reuse of a mold. Rather, they made up a story as to why Blastoff isn't a shuttle. I love this personally, mainly because I love the Harrier Phantom 2 mold, as well as who's ever heard of a combat shuttle, but all in all, the details on them are alright, though obvious places where details could have been missed. So how does Reprolabels aim to fix this? Well, since they're supposed to be military vehicles, they aren't exactly intended to be flashy and look at me. So what Reprolabels did was condense a lot of what had already been done in previous sets for the earlier remolds into the most necessary of details to keep the combat motif going, and, as an added bonus, helps out my wallet too. So let's start off. Blastoff has a little bit of details here and there. First off being extending the wing stripes, a feature I covered in both the Fireflight and Slingshot mold, and it's an improvement that I cannot recommend enough. Otherwise, the wings look super laughable with how tiny they are, and this really helps sell the idea of what they actually are. On the side of the jet is a new Decepticon symbol with the tag D65. Originally I thought this was just a cool number they picked out of a hat, but then I got to the other figures, and they have sequential numbering from 64 all the way to 68. This got me curious, and discovered it's a Takara G1 toy box ID reference hitting in tag symbols on the decos? Genius! I haven't seen an idea like that since MP Thundercracker, and I love it. Vortex has almost nothing new here, as almost all of it you'll find over here as well. That being said, all of it I still find necessary, unless you enjoy purple windows for whatever reason. The details added here are the extra unpainted window on the nose cone, the 4 windows on the side, added detailing to really bring out that missile rack as a missile rack, the tail fin sports D66, a nod to the box ID of Takara's Vortex, added stabilizer tail fin detail, and a G1 tail detail, very reminiscent of the old G1 toy and the stickers it placed on its arms that became the tail fin. Honestly, all in all, I still find every one of those stickers completely necessary to make your helicopter look like a convincing helicopter. Swindle actually doesn't get much in vehicle mode. He gets the D68 on his roll bar, as well as stickers back here, one of them being taillights. These are mainly for robot mode though, save for the taillights. Brawl, being the new mold, actually gets quite a fair share for the deluxe figures. The vehicle itself is riddled with all these details that make it look like a pretty convincing tank. Like, those look like armor plating down there by the treads to me, sporting also the D67 tag, as well as up top in the turret. I'm not exactly brushed up in my tank knowledge, but from what I know, I think these look pretty dang good. Onslaught then. There's a few bits added here and there, such as the taillights from Hotspot make it over here as well as a new set of taillights on the figure's official rear end. So, you do have your options with whatever you decide is the rear end of the truck to you. Otherwise, there's little details like the light bar, which isn't really visible here, the side vents becoming detailed in contrasting army green, which look excellent. Lifting up the Bruticus wing reveals army green chromed out compartment doors, as well as the high visibility stripe down below to tell other people, hey, don't get run over. It's possible. So again, there's not much for vehicle mode, but what is there is actually very tactful and very well placed. The same can be said for robot modes. Onslaught actually looks better than before with his contrasting green on blue instead of being Mr. Bland legs. The legs actually get G1 detail along with their contrast, which is super cool. As well as the light bar gets purple and green striping instead of just being bland old purple. The light bar always baffled me here, but Reprolabels saw it, ran with it, and really made it stand out and apart from just a Hotspot remold. The ugly purple on the hips gets covered up with army plating that's been excellently color matched as well. And finally, up top, the shoulders get green plating sporting D64 and a Decepticon symbol that looks really, really good and does not interfere at all with combined mode. Brawl, on the other hand, is the opposite story. Vehicle mode is barely visible, which was what the set mainly improved. All robot mode really gets are silver details on its combiner plug. It looks nice and G1-y. Swindle gets a little bit of shoulder work, and some black chest detailing, and a blue piece on the bottom for a pleasant G1 nod. And then here's something interesting. Behind the feet are black and yellow detailing. You actually have to pull the feet back to both fully see them and apply them, but for whatever reason it just seems to add so much with them being back there. It's subtle, and it definitely helps break up the yellow if nothing else. Vortex gets equal love to his vehicle and robot mode. He gets the tealy turquoise on his chest piece to really bring out the G1 accuracy in him, as well as purple stripes on the arms to run with the yellow missiles that are both referencing the old G1 arms. Finally, some purple on the waist to make the red look like details and not the main attraction. It's nifty in my opinion. Finally, Blastoff's robot mode is sparse yet tactful. The chest has G1-y goodness with the black, blue, and spots, as well as lavender detail on the shoulders that scream G1 reference with the toy's nose cone being the arms back in the day, and the windshield being clearly visible. And they also threw in the same leg detail shape that Fireflight got, which is really cool in my opinion. I love how that pops. So, that's all of them in robot mode. I really love what it does to the two flight-worthy figures. Brawls, the more I look at, the more I like its reservedness. Swindle is great no matter what you do with him, and Onslaught's legs look so dang amazing it almost hurts. On to Bruticus. And before I forget, all of them have extensive detail work done to the hand and feet. And because Bruticus tends to have a universally accepted Scramble City configuration, it means that Reprolabels can cater to this. That being said, Swindle's and Brawl's hand feet have their detailing primarily on the sides, while also having moderate amounts up top. Blastoff and Swindles wouldn't really have their details visible in foot mode, but that's okay, because they're usually arms, and that's where those details really stand out. So then, Bruticus. None of Bruticus members really have their stickers stand out too much here. However, there is clearly stickers present specifically for Bruticus. What really stands out, though, is the chest and crotch piece, really bringing the G1 cartoon brown and purple out, while leaving just enough gray behind to make it really look like Bruticus. I like it quite a lot. The hand feet, too, also stand out in their respective molds, and I think it looks great. So that's been my review for the Combiner Wars Bruticus Reprolabels set. It's an amazing addition, keeping it light but necessary. And because it's all been grouped together as one purchase, because who's going to buy just 2 limbs and leave it at that, right? The cost can be lowered for everybody because it's easier to produce. Everyone's happy. Anyway, this has been the Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer.